Hey, this is Trissa behind Sewing and Things, and in this video I'm going to show you how to sew the partial placket. To sew your partial placket, you're going to need one of your skirt pieces. I'm sewing a fully lined version. I'm going to have my 2 layers of fabric. And it doesn't matter how many layers you have in your skirt, you're going to sew the partial placket exactly the same. So go ahead and get your back skirt piece and find the center. Now at that center mark, we're going to draw a line 2.5 inches down. We're going to sew 1/8 of an inch down that line and then across the end of the line and then back up 1/8 of an inch. So go ahead and do that and then we'll come back. So if you see here, I went along the bottom. Now you're going to trim down the center of the line and stopping about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, cutting close but not through the stitches, creating a Y. You're going to take your placket piece and you're going to fold one edge in 1/4 of an inch to the wrong side. Now we're going to place the unfolded edge of the placket against a slit in the skirt with right sides together. And go ahead and pin that in place. Then open the slit up so it's straight. Pin the placket the rest of the way. Now working on the skirt side, you're going to sew with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, but once you get towards the middle of the placket, you're going to move the fabric so the placket doesn't get bunched and you're going to decrease your seam allowance. So if you see here, I have my 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, but when I got to the center, I basically went over the original stitches that we first created when I decreased my seam allowance. And you want to make sure that you go around, pull the fabric around so it doesn't bunch around this spot. You're going to press your placket up and away from your skirt, and then we're going to fold the placket down so it just barely covers the stitching line. So after you press that, pin it and then sew close to the edge. Once that's done, fold your placket in half and sew a diagonal line along the bottom. So go ahead and do that and then we'll come back. Once that's sewn, you will need to baste the placket back that matches the side of the bodice that will overlap the other. After that, your partial placket is done. To stay up to date on the latest videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel, or you can check out my blog at sewingandthings.com.